I'm chilling with Asuka. You know what the fuck it is. Am I live? I actually don't know. Oh, I am live. That's good. What up, homies? What up, people? What's poppin'? I'm gonna do some cardistry, I guess. Yo, that's sick. Look at this. It's Asuka. Titties. Asuka titties on my cards because you know I'm ballin'. I haven't seen you before around here, around these parts. Joshua Wiley, Wheeltuck, Scum. That's kind of sick. I like those acronyms. I don't know what they stand for, but I like that one of them is Scum. I respect it. A good acronym, like that's a highly respectable thing. My acronyms tend to be kind of shit. Damn, that was kind of smooth though. I'm kind of schmoovin'. Ifrit. I haven't seen you before either. Maybe I have. Maybe your people I've seen before and you've changed your names or something. Look at this. Let's see if I can. Can I? There's no reason for me to live now. Yeah, I'm on my Asuka shit. You know what the fuck it is. Wrong end of the utilitarian calculus, Son Goku. That's base. That's fucking base. Shit. That was a good tornado, but I fucked up the second half. So what's going on? I've been in your streams before, you just forgot. Maybe you have. Sorry about that. I'm not very good with names. I suck with names and dates, and which makes me terrible with birthdays especially. I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean to forget you. I'm bad with names. Does it hurt your hands after a while? Back when I was really hard, like back in the day when I was really hardcore into cardistry, I got like repetitive strain injury. That's actually one of the reasons why I stopped originally. Like on my here. like in this kind of area, or maybe it was on this hand. I don't remember, but yeah. How, but it's you should, if you're doing it properly, you should be kind of like, you should basically be relaxed the whole time, so it doesn't really hurt your hands. Unless if you spend all day doing tornado cuts, this corner can kind of dig into your thumb and kind of like chafe a little bit. But other than that, like if you're sensible, you take breaks so you don't get OSI, you stay relaxed, it shouldn't hurt your hands. Maybe if you're doing like some really big scissor cuts or something, it can be a bit of a stretch, but no, I don't think it hurts my hands. Yo, you've changed your name, Fag. Exercise. We talked in one of Dot Mite's old call-in shows. I was the one who said he believed in causality based on power. Not. I vaguely remember. I think I was probably drunk. I vaguely remember that happening. Very vaguely. Oh shit. This my upload speed is very inconsistent. Like, it just drops randomly. I said the N word. No, I would never do such a thing. It must have been someone else. I couldn't possibly have been me. I would never say that. It wasn't me. I couldn't have possibly done that. It was. It couldn't possibly have been me. I fixed lights, bro. Leave me alone. What did you think about that? Was that a pretty good Among Us reference? Was that relevant to the cultural zeitgeist of the day? And I was fucking doing water wheels, bro. Oh, the N word is nootropics? Yeah. I would never say nootropics. Oh wait, I just said it twice. Fuck. You wanna see my nootropics? This is my nootropics. It's just dietary fiber and caffeine. That's all I got. I mean, I have more, but they're all empty. Are you gonna challenge us to a duel? No. No, I'm not. I don't know about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but Pokemon cards are the same size as poker-sized playing cards, which is nice. They feel like shit though. Flourishing with Pokemon cards is just an awful experience. Oh shit, it's Princess Plunderphonics. Hello. Hey, let me send you... Oh, just, if you, Why did I make the beat again? I had an idea while I was in the toilet, as I tend to have, right? I was like, I just had an idea for, like, a melody. And so I made it into a beat. And I think it turned out pretty well. But it's like very polished, like very accessible, very up to professional standards. I would say it's very like radio friendly unit shifter. You know what I'm saying? It's like it sounds like a you know that song Plain Jane by ASAP, one of the ASAPs, not but that's not Rocky. You know the one that goes Hamdulillah. You know that one? Like it kind of sounds like that. Like it's heavy, but it's also like radio friendly. If you want to hear it, it's in Digi's server. I was gonna send it to you, but I thought you were asleep, so I didn't. Imbumpit. The reason I'm streaming, my mom's currently not home, and this is like my last experience. You know what I'm saying? It's my last real life experience that I'm ever gonna have. I was thinking of streaming CS:GO or Rats. Should I stream some Rats? I'm kind of drunk. Like, this is the thing, is I'm planning to get drunk. That's the point of the stream, is I'm planning to get drunk and I need someone to talk to. Speaking of which... Yeah, it's a bit ASAP-y. I haven't listened to that much ASAP stuff, so I can't actually say if it's... Oh, Rats, yeah. Rats Instagib, the shooter, the first-person shooter game, like the Quake 3 type of thing, you know? I don't know if you've heard of it, but if you haven't, buy it, because it's fucking amazing and it needs more player base. That's the only problem with it, is that it's like, it's too small and you can never find a server. But I would recommend it so much. I play it. I try and play a little bit every day as like an obligation, because I want to, like, everyone complains like, oh, it's an amazing game, but the server's always dead. It's like, yeah, because you're not playing on them. I will every day I open up if I try and play a little bit just to like fill up the servers and stuff, and I always get fucking destroyed because like the server will be a bunch of people. It'll be like a bunch of people, and like most of them will be at like slightly worse than me or about my level, so I'll be like relatively good in the server context, and then there'll be like 4 people who are just fucking gods at the game, who are just insane, and like no one can even fucking touch them, who are getting like 33% hit rating or something, and they'll just win like 5 games in a row or more. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of the problem with the game, is that some people are too good, and like because there's not enough players, the matchmaking system can't work that well. I can join that stream and talk to you in voice, but only for like an hour if you need someone to talk to. That would be nice, but sadly I can't. I don't know what happened to Apple. In the past, there was a program called iShowU Audio Capture, where I could actually capture desktop audio on my streams, but Apple killed it somehow. I don't know. One of the updates in the past like couple years or a year, I don't remember exactly, just broke it, and like it doesn't work anymore, even if you do the exact same thing that used to work. So now I don't like, and I haven't found another way to record desktop audio for a stream. I can record it for a video, but not for a stream. But yeah, I could just end the stream if you want to talk. What do you think about that? Hold on, let me turn my retarded fucking filters off. There you go, we're back to being regular people. Does that work? If I was like, okay, I'll take the 10 of hearts, I'll put it back in the middle of the deck, and then when the snapper comes to the top. Does that work? Did that, like, someone tell me, because I can't tell if I'm tripping or if that's a really powerful move. Yes? No? Did that look like I cut the deck properly? To me, it looks like I'm cutting the deck properly. Like, it looks good. You can do whatever you want. Just wondering if you want to talk to a real person. Up to you. IDK, why I'm typing retarded. I'm not the money is there, Delini. That's why I'm typing retarded. Yes, working. Good. That's good to hear. I'm gonna start using. Well, I don't know if I can start using it, but if the opportunity arises, I'll use it. Cardistry stream, or I need to trim my stash, bro. Yeah. Oh, something interesting happened today. So, how do I begin to explain this? So I have a no thank you Twitter account, by the way. If you don't follow me already, at no thank you music on Twitter. Right. Let me see. Can I do this? Is there like a... I want to know if I can be epic. What's this? No, it doesn't work. Okay. Shave the... that, yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, everyone's done it. Every man who's grown a mustache, or woman, who's grown a mustache at some point, when shaving, has at one point given themselves a Hitler mustache just to see what it looks like, just for the meme. Everyone's done it. And given themselves sideburns, and done the Fu Manchu one with the mustache is super... Everyone's done these things. I do not look good with a Hitler mustache. Let me tell you, Jewish nose and Hitler mustache, they were never made to be together. It is not a match born in heaven. Anyway, what I was trying to say, which I was reminded of by Plunder's typing style, is today on Twitter, someone followed me who I used to follow back in the day. But when I had other Twitter accounts, because I used to have like 3 or 4 Twitter accounts, and I would follow a lot of interesting people, or, well, yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. And one of these people, someone called Slime Bimbo, or Slimbo, very cool person in my opinion. Very good artist and makes good funny posts. Followed me on Twitter today. Followed my No Thank You account. Now, this person used to follow one of my other accounts and had no idea. She has no idea that we're the same person. That she's followed twice. She just thinks I'm this cool musician or whatever. Like, she just knows my music, right? But she doesn't know that we've actually interacted in the past. Like, we've talked in the past. I was just using a different identity, which is so fucking sick to me. And because this is what happened when she followed me, as a lot of people do. Not to brag, it's just weird. Like, I'm doing the opposite of bragging. I find, like, I like it. Like, I support it. I think it's really cool that people do this. But it's also, I'm not used to it. Is that when, like, a lot of people, when they follow me, they'll DM me and they'll say, like, man, thanks for making that music, or I loved your 100 Gex remix. It's normally stuff like that, right? And I'm like, I always say thanks for the support and I really appreciate it and whatever, because I genuinely do. I genuinely appreciate when people do stuff like that. You don't have to go out the way to DM me or whatever. Like, I really appreciate that you're letting me, like, that you like my music. It makes me happy that people like my music. What can I say? And so this person, she messaged me and she said, I don't remember I'm not going to say the exact message. I don't, but it was something like, because she's also coincidentally friends with Laura Less, like double, triple coincidence. And she said Laura showed her my remix and she loved it, and so I was like, yeah, thanks for the support, whatever. By the way, just want to let you know we've interacted before back on Cafe forums under a different pseudonym, and she was like, what the fuck? That's so fucking weird. Yeah, Cafe Forums was a short-lived website. It was like a forum that a few people knew about. But, yeah, it was very fun to do that. Because it was like, yeah, I'm based. I exist everywhere on the internet. I am in every fucking cool community on the entire internet, by the way. Just to let you know, I'm fucking based. And that was such a fucking epic moment. That was such a Poggers moment. Damn, I am really laying out here. Yeah, Plunder, I found this rapper I think you'd really like, called Young Ethernet. Kind of like Ruben Slick, but like, kind of like 100 Gex. Kind of like, yeah, this guy called Ethernet, kind of similar to 100 Gex. I think you should check him out. How do I know if my poetry is shit or not? People tell me it's good, but it doesn't have any meter or prose in it. Should I trust their opinions, or do they just have bad taste? That's a difficult question. You shouldn't trust people's opinions if they're someone who you're friends with, unless they're me, because I do this on purpose. Like, when my friends send me some art and I think it's shit, I tell them that it's shit, because I know that I would want to be told if my art was shit. But I'm not most people. If you're friends with someone and you send them something you made, they're gonna be polite and they're gonna say it's good even if it's not good. So if you actually want to see if it's good, find someone who hates you and see if they like it. Or that's probably not a good technique either. But either way, if it's poetry, this is the thing about poetry, in my opinion, is that poetry is always shit. Like, there is no good poetry, and that's what's good about it, is that it's pure just artistic expression. Like, the only person who has to be satisfied by it is the person who's making the poetry. If I write a fucking poem, which I think I've written like 2 poems in my life, both of which were fucking dog shit. If I write a poem, all that matters is that I feel like I got whatever feeling I was trying to express out, and like, poetry is shit by default. It's like saying, like, hey, do you think this metalcore song I made is good? Like, it's a metalcore song, so it's bad. It could be good it could be like a well executed metalcore song, but it's still a metalcore song, so it's shit, right? It's the same thing to me. Like, oh, I wrote this poem. Is my poem good? Well, it's a poem, so I obviously am not going to give a shit about it. However, it could be a well executed poem, but I'd still not give a shit about it. But the difference is that metalcore thinks it's good. Poetry has no illusions about being good. Every poet knows that poetry is some fucking dog shit nonsense that just is a weird quirk of the way we fucking think about language. And that's what makes it good. That's why people like poetry, is because of that. Which I think is really cool, even though I've never really been... I've tried. I'm sure one day I'll get into poetry when I'm older. My dad is really into E. Cummings. I've tried reading some of his poems, and I just don't feel like I get it. But either way, my point is, poetry, maybe even more than any other art, is entirely subjective. Just because your poetry doesn't have meter or prose in it doesn't mean anything. Loads of great poetry doesn't have meter or prose in it, or poetry that's well respected or whatever, right? Like, do whatever the fuck makes you satisfied. And if you're worried about it being good or not, then you need to shift your outlook on how you view it. The only thing that matters is whether you think it's good. Unless you're trying to get like a publishing deal, hey, that would be a good way to figure out if your poetry is good. Send it to some fucking editors. Or send it to some poets that you respect. And most artists, especially poets, because poets are always like doing like broke and dying and starving, because poetry is fucking based. Like, I don't know if there's any living poets that you respect, but if you have some living poets that you really like, just like email them and say, hey, I wrote these poems. Can you give me any tips? And I guarantee you at least one of them will write back. Like, you can just do that. They're people. I've done similar things. I don't want to talk exactly about what I've done, because I want to talk about it in the future at some point. But like I've emailed people that I'd respect, and they've just gotten back to me like real people. How do you think journalism works? It's just emailing people. So that's my tip. If you have some sort of poet that you actually respect, say and ask like, hey, can I have some constructive criticism? Like, what do you think I could do better in my poetry, and send them a sample. And maybe they'll like it, and maybe they will hate it and say, this is shit, and then you'll become a better poet because of it. Yeah. But if you don't care about like improving for the sake of being technically apt, if you just want to do something that satisfies yourself, then, which is just as based as just as good as any other, just as valid as any other path, then that's all you need to do. You just need to do it until you're satisfied, and take the attitude of, well, if someone else doesn't like it, fuck them. But I see what you mean about like, oh, well, if everyone likes it, like, that seems too good to be true. Like, there's no way everyone likes my poems. They must be just being polite. Which is probably true. Like, when I post my music in places, people tell me it's shit. And I'm like, good, I'm doing something right, because I know my music is not meant for people like this. Like, certain friend groups or communities I'm in, I post my music there, they're like, why do you make everything so loud? Why is it so fucking distorted or whatever? And I'm like, well, this makes sense, because you guys aren't supposed to like this music. That's my opinion. But don't send me your poetry, because I don't really care for poetry, and therefore I won't be able to give you any good constructive criticism. Yeah, fuck. Oh, you talk about Ethernet. Yeah, fuck them there, fuck a bitch. Ethernet, if I see them in the streets, I'ma fuck them in the ass. Yeah, bass. Kinda like Death Grips. Yeah, bass. Hey, no thank you. I found this guy's music with no thank you. I think you may like it. Let me check him out. Well, this guy's shit. I think you spelled it with O's and not O's. Yeah, my O's are always zeros. This is a key factor in my life. My O's are always zeros. How did my shirt clean itself? My shirt was dirty early today. I spilled some like pasta sauce on it, but it's become clean. It's sort of like I see it's sort of like faded in to the black of the shirt. Same with old European plays or dramas. Yeah, I mean, I like Shakespeare, I unironically like Shakespeare, but I think that's only because I've seen Shakespeare plays like at the Globe, and like with and no, it's just a really fun experience. It's like I see why people liked them back in the day. I see why he was such a success. I like it makes sense. They're funny, they're like dramatic, they're everything you want from a play. Uh, Be based. Don't worry about anything being good or not. No one understands my music outside of Denver Mob, and I want to keep it that way. Yeah, based. Uh, Young. Oh, okay, this is gonna be difficult. Young Link Ray. Oh, Link Ray. Out here making loud music. The stash is wild. Is it that wild? Looks pretty normal to me. It's just a normal stash. It's the beard that's pretty wild. What do you think? Eh? Can you tell that I have a receding incel chin? Can you tell that my chin, I'm a chin cell? No, you can't, because I have a manly beard. I posted my poems as songs of me singing into my phone without instrumentals to a former friend, and she said it was some of the best singer-songwriter music, comparing it to Daniel Johnston when I asked. Uh, I mean, if it's now music, I can do. I mean, if you want, do you want my opinion? I don't know what you're asking for here, but what what matters most is whether you like it. Unless you're trying to make money from it. But if it's poetry, you're probably not trying to make money from it because no one makes money from poetry. If you are trying to make money from poetry, then I implore you to seriously consider your life choices. But I assume you're not trying to make money from poetry as a reasonable human being. In which case, all that really matters is uh, if you and your friends like it, and if your friends seem to like it, and if you seem to like it, then and if you're having fun doing it, that's very important. Or if you're not necessarily having fun, but if you feel like it's emotionally gratifying when you make your poetry, um, then that's good. That's what matters. Uh, I'm glad people like it, and I'm glad you seem to like it because it seems like you're. I mean, if you've done. Oh, I'm gonna have to mute for a second. I'm back. Yeah, that's how I do a phone call with no hands. I just put it like that between my headphones. Alright, let's see what sort of shit you guys have been talking about me while I was in the fucking toilet. If you're compared to Daniel Johnston, you're basically saying, I agree. I think if someone compared you to Daniel Johnston, like, unless they want to fuck you, or unless they're fucking brain dead and they don't know what music sounds like, you're probably fine. You're probably good. I was just jerking myself, I guess. It's good to, it's healthy. Jerking yourself is healthy. Yo, Noah's gone. Let's talk shit about him. I heard he's Jewish. Oh, fuck. How did you find out? How did you find out? Chava, Nagila, Chava, Nagila, Chava, Nagila, Venispera. No, sir. Okay, I didn't miss much. Okay, was about to say, smart. Okay, yeah, sick. Let's get back to real business. Drinking. You know what I had today? Mountain Dew. Bitch. I fucking love Mountain Dew so much. I wish maybe they do something. I feel like it would be a bad idea for me to become a Mountain Dew addict. Like, I feel like I very much could, because it's, like, so good. Oh yeah, I'm kind of, my hair's kind of thinning. I don't know if you can tell this. It's been thinning for a while. I don't really care. A lot of cool people have shit hairlines. I mean, look at this. You can see. But it is kind of annoying because in this particular stage, it looks kind of bad on video. It will look better later, but whatever. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I feel like it's a bad idea for me to try and become a Mountain Dew addict, even though I totally could because it's so fucking delicious. I'm pretty sure it's the Euro Mountain Dew. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I can check on the back because if it's the American one, it will have corn syrup in it. High fructose corn syrup. Carbonated water, acid, natural flavoring, ascorbic acid, preservative, potassium sorbate, caffeine, stabilizer. Yeah, okay, it's the EU one, I'm pretty sure then. It's Citrus Blast. Oh my god, it has 37% of your daily sugar intake. Damn. I wonder how much Monster has. I had a Monster the other day as well. Does it say? Why does it have salt in it? Whatever. On a scale of 1 to 10, how trans is the Mars Volta? I don't think Mars Volta is very trans at all. I give it like a 4. Okay, I guess that's kind of trans. That's like as trans as you can be without being trans. Which is pretty much the correct opinion. Don't become a Mountain Dew addict, bro. It's not worth it. Mountain Dew. I re-listened to The Origin of Alimonies today. Great album. Definitely in my top 100, I would say. Amazing album. Shouts the fuck outs to Liturgy. What an incredible album. What an experience. I definitely enjoyed it more the second time. Actually, I think it's 2.5, because I listened to it like halfway through once, so... Second and a half time. Great album. If you haven't listened to it, highly recommend. It's everything I love about stuff. Plunder, have you listened to it yet? It turns into a Lex Luger beat at some point, which is why I think you'll like it. The new Liturgy album turns into a Lex Luger beat, but it's mostly modern classical and black metal, and it even is like gent at one point. My dad bought a SodaStream. IDK, what to think of it? It seems pretty suburban elitist, but maybe it's cool. So I don't personally like. I've tried shit that was made in a SodaStream, and it just tastes like shit. Like, it just doesn't work to me, in my opinion. It just doesn't work. Like, why not just fucking buy a drink? What? I don't understand it. If you want, like, how's the stream quality, by the way? Because in my corner over here, it's telling me that, like, it's going red and stuff occasionally. I'm worried that the stream is going badly. If the stream is going badly, tell me, because I can try and fix it. Like if it keeps dropping out or freezing or something, tell me and I can try and fix it. But what did you say? What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you want like if you just want something to drink, something like sweet to drink all the time that you can keep in the fridge that isn't water, then just make a bunch of green tea. Just get green tea bags, put them in some water, get a big jug of water, put like 3 green tea bags in it, put some honey in it, just keep it in the fridge, and if you leave it overnight, the green tea bags will flavour the water, and then you just get free cold green tea forever, and tea bags are like fucking 50p for 50 of them, so it costs no money. You get infinite free flavoured water that tastes way better, has caffeine in it, and it's green tea, and it's cold and nice, and it's not soda, and it's good for you. I've done that on multiple occasions, and I highly suggest at least doing it once in your life. You just have to remember to change the tea bags out occasionally, which is kind of a hassle, but it is what it is. It's worth it for not having to pay for soda but getting a similar experience. I don't think I'm autistic enough. Oh, it's for carbonated water, so you don't have to carry tons of bottles. I hate carbonated water. Why would you have carbonated water? Water's good enough. Why fuck with it? Look, it works fine. It works fine. What is with fucking white people, bro? It's delicious. It tastes like water. It's fine. It's what lions drink. It's what lions drink. Why fuck with it? Why put carbonated water is fucking bullshit. It's a scam. It's a fucking scam. Okay, let's read this Joshua Wiley fucking comment. I don't think I'm autistic enough to not care what other people think about me. I crave the approval of others for some reason and have very little self-esteem and don't care much for my own art. Okay, this is... welcome to No Thank You's therapy sessions. Let me smoke a pipe real quick. Oh, come on. I need to... This vape is like half broken. It fucking sucks. I don't want to spend fucking money on a new vape. I don't have the money. Patreon.com, no, link in the description, guys. Please, I need to do... Actually, if I get money from Patreon, if more people Patreon me, I'm not going to buy a new vape with it. I'm going to buy a new audio interface. Because my audio interface is broken. I need to buy a new one, and it costs like at least 100 quid. I don't have 100 quid. So, I mean, I technically have 100 quid, but I have to pay rent, so I can't spend that 100 quid. But, so yeah, please... If you want to hear better No Thank You music where I can actually plug my fucking bass into my fucking computer, patreon.com/nothankyou. I desperately need the money. But on the other hand, everyone desperately needs the money. We're in a global pandemic and we already live in fucking neoliberal capitalism. No one has money to spare and yet somehow people patron me. Like, I'm incredibly grateful for everyone who paid, even if it's not that many people, and even if they don't give, even if they only give me $1 per month or whatever. I'm like, damn, you could have spent that dollar on anything. You spent it on me. Like, wow, that's fucking crazy, bro. And I don't even fucking make that, like, half the time I forget to fill my fucking Patreon rewards, and you still don't unpatreon me. Like, that's a real that's it makes me kind of emotional, to be honest. uh, no, don't worry about it. This is the point of the stream, to talk to the comments. Okay, let me do some psychoanalysis on you. So you can't bring yourself to not care about what people think about you. I was there before at one point in my life. I'm still there. In fact, I'm definitely still there. I think everyone's still there. I think that's perfectly natural. I think to want other people's approval and validation is a completely normal feeling to want, and I think it's even good because I think there's a reason we have that feeling. I think like if you go completely off the deep end, it can turn out well. It can turn out where like um you become some sort of crazy avant-garde artist who just makes yourself very satisfied with your art. But you could also end up having some unhealthy thought patterns or making like I don't know, you could end up becoming some weird type of guy. You know what I mean? Like you could end up with some weird beliefs, and if you're like, well, I don't care what other people think of my beliefs, but then your beliefs are just nonsense and like harmful. You know what I mean? Like it's good to have your ideology kept in check by other people sometimes. But on the other hand, which is why it's not to not care what anyone thinks about you. The key point is to only care about the opinions of people you respect, and I think that's important. So like if someone, as I said before, when I posted my music in a certain place and the people that don't like it, they never like it. It's fine because like I know, well, yeah, that's I put that as part. It's part of the art. It's intentionality. It's part of the art that is designed to appeal to a specific demographic, and so if those people don't like it, it's still validating to me because it's still like, well, yeah, that's intentionally designed into the art. I think that's a key point. So if you respect your friends' opinions about art, which I do personally, respect my friends' opinions, even if they're fucking retarded, I swear to God, No Game No Life is fucking good. Fuck you. Fuck you. No Game No Life is a good fucking show. Anyway. Even if you mostly respect your friends' opinions on art, then you can just make music for your friends, or make poetry for your friends, or just do drawings for your friends. And if it makes them happy, then you'll feel happy, and that's what it's all about, really. Like, or making music for that you think. It's hard though. Like people seem to treat it as if it's very easy to do, and I think for some people it's easy to do, but for other people it's not easy to do. Like I personally crave validation as a human being. I like it when people tell me my music is good or make like I think that's perfectly natural because I worked hard on something. I like it when people tell me it's good. I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but I think it becomes a problem when oh shit, hold on a second, doorbell. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry for the interruption. Delivery. Let's get more drunk, shall we? I'm such a better person when I'm drunk. I'm just more sociable. I'm more polite. It's weird. I'm definitely going to become an alcoholic. It's not even a question at this point. Actually, it's possible I become addicted to a different drug. So where were we? What was I talking about? Someone remind me in chat. I don't remember. I mean, I remember I was talking about art, but what was I specifically saying? The approval of others. I'll just go on a rant. I don't know if it'll be particularly connected to what I was talking about before, but either way. So yeah, what I really like is comments. Like when I see a comment on my SoundCloud or my YouTube and someone says something, that's when I'm interested. Because likes, dislikes, plays, none of that gives me any information. Even me, I only have, I forgot, like 300, 400 subscribers, or 900 on my main channel, something like that. Like, even with such a tiny channel, when I look at my YouTube statistics, I have the same as every other YouTuber, which is every video has like a shitty retention. Like the first 5 seconds is like most people leave after the first 5 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever. That's how it is for every YouTuber. By the way, let me know if the stream is like laggy or something. I can lower the bit rate or something. Because I'm worried because it keeps going red in the corner, and I'm worried that I'm dropping out and in. So let me know if that's the case, and I can fix it. So like when I made Benjamin's Dragon Millionaire, for example, I don't know if you've heard that album, but that album, the only thing I cared about with that album is making Plunder, Star, and Dotesmite happy. I just wanted to make an album that they would like, and I would like, that I felt happy with. Like, all I cared about was, one, every time I was making a song, am I having fun making this song? I wasn't going to do anything that would require, like, tedious mixing or anything. And anything that required anything that would, like, take loads of effort and be really fucking tedious or hard to do. Even though I kind of like that stuff, even though I like that stuff, for this album it was all about having fun. So was I having fun while making it? If so, yes. When I listen back to it, am I still having fun? Good. Do I think the members of the Crab Stack or whatever will enjoy this song? If those three are good, then it goes on the album. But when it comes to like N-Cycle Futility, all I was thinking about was like the philosophical statements behind the album. I wasn't even considering, like, it's all a matter of ideology, really. You said earlier you don't think you're autistic enough. I don't think it's a matter of autism. I think it's a matter of ideology. I think it's how you approach your perspective to the art you make is very important. And to the art you consume as well. Like, I try and be very critical of the art I consume, even the stuff I love. Like, sorry to get all lefty with you, but like Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, for example. One of my favourite anime of all time. Top 10, top 5, amazing anime. But I'm like, even though it's one of my favourite shows of all time, I try and always, every time I think about it, I'm like, yeah, well, clearly they gave it so that all the girls in the show have enormous tits and they're dressed in skimpy outfits, and like, that's just for the titillation of the male audience. Like, that doesn't actually make any sense in the context of the story. It doesn't add anything to the story. It's just so they can put it on the front cover and sell more light novels or whatever. And I'm like, just because I know that, it doesn't make the fucking art bad. Or when I'm watching House, or even better, when I'm watching Star Trek. Like, I watch Star Trek, I'm like, this is some real fucking corny sci-fi shit, but it's still my favorite TV show of all time. I think it's important to be critical of everything you consume. Is the name the Chronicle? I've never heard of the Chronicles of Benjamin Dragon. No, Benjamin's Dragon, the name came to me in a dream. That's not a joke. I have never heard of this. Yeah, the name Benjamin's Dragon Millionaire. I woke up and those words were just stuck in my head. I have never heard of these books. Are these like YA novels? It looks like it. Probably would have liked that when I was a kid. Looks good. But no, it's not a reference to that. It's a book. Yo, that's sick. I may believe in nothing, but it's my nothing. No one believes in nothing. I don't believe that. I don't buy into that. But yeah, it's a matter of how you approach it. It's hard to shift. Okay, let me put it this way. I think the healthiest approach, or the approach that makes me the most satisfied with my art, is to approach it like this. While I'm making it, I am being 100% self-indulgent. I am, and this is very hard to do, to actually, because you're told all your life to not do this, to not be 100% self-indulgent, and to to act in accordance to how others would have you act, to create in accordance to how others would have you create, and even beyond stuff like that, like such concrete stuff, you're surrounded by culture and society and civilization and other people, the other, right? You can't help but consider the other when you're making any artistic work, because that's the reality you live in. So I think it makes sense that it's difficult to ignore that, and I don't think it necessarily should be ignored. I think it's perfectly reasonable to take it into consideration, considering the nature of reality. But I think that what you should strive for is, while you're making something, to only care about whether it's a cathartic experience for you, to whether it's emotionally fulfilling for you, to whether, personally, I like to do things that challenge myself artistically. I like to take on experiments and such like. Yeah. I like to have a thesis statement go again, like with To the Fairest, for example, or maybe I should use something as a video. I'll use To the Fairest as an example. Like, To the Fairest, it's like, I want to make something that's like Shinsei Kamati-chan's like the Velvet Underground and Nico, and like Shinsei Kamati-chan, like this idea of like a twisted, warped commentary on pop music, but for like what I want to do is I want to take tropes I see in modern pop and like SoundCloud and like hyperpop and whatever, and I want to take those tropes and I want to extend them to the point where they become so sparkly that it's blinding. so apparent that it just becomes noise. And by doing that, I want to get people to think. I want to create some sort of dynamic where the context surrounding these cliches changes. So like high pitched auto tuned vocals. This is a very common thing these days. But what if I make it the most high pitched and the most auto tuned, and super loud so you can't ignore it? And I put it in the context of a song with distorted drums and like I could completely change the context of it. Suddenly, even though this trope existed in lots of other works, you're seeing this like sparkly pop. It became so sparkly that it became so in your face and apparent that you're suddenly looking at it in a completely different way. It suddenly loses all relation to what it's related to. Oh fuck. Gotta talk to my mom again. I'm sorry, this is a terrible stream. So, when I was making to the fairest, that's all I was thinking about, was to make songs that took that idea and sounded good, like songs that I could bob my head to when I was listening back to them and stuff. All I cared about was that idea of subverting pop music by through extending its tropes until they became noise, to recontextualize these features and make people reconsider certain aspects and look at various aspects of pop music from a different angle, right? Or in order to create a unique experience, and in order to make a philosophical statement about pop culture and pop music, right? The statement is that these things are arbitrary, and like the stuff we associate with pop music is only poppy because it's considered pop music. But if you extend those tropes, it becomes something completely wild and avant-garde, even though at its heart it's still what it is. You know? And sort of to show how pop music sounds to me when I hear it. This sort of thing. That's all I was thinking about when I was making the album. Does it sound good, and does it, like, when I'm making my decisions, that's all I'm considering. Is that, does it fulfill that philosophical statement that I'm going into the album with? And then, does it actually sound good when I'm listening back to it? Does it make me, like, do I like it, basically? Do I like how it sounds? If it fulfills those features, then that's all I cared about when I was making the album. I knew it was a really good album when I made it. Like, I could tell that I was onto something. I could tell I was onto a good formula after I made like the first couple tracks or whatever. But after I finished the album, so that's the first step. When you're making the art, all you should care about is what you think of it. All you should be focusing on is whether it's fulfilling to your own artistic goals, right? But once it's finished and once you release it out there, then you should start thinking about, and I think it's actually important to do this. I don't think you have to do it, but I think for the way I work, it's important that it's worth considering other people's perspectives, because maybe you made something that is just completely ridiculous and only you will like. Maybe it's shit. Maybe you're too invested, or whatever. So take constructive criticism. But all I care about after I release the album is, do the people I care about like this? Do my friends like it? Do the people I respect like it? Does it get comments that are constructive and interesting? Like a random comment that just is like a smiley face. Who fucking cares? You may as well just press like. But if someone says something like, oh yeah, this part bangs, or oh, why does it sound like this? It sounds bad, or whatever. That's useful, and like that's the stuff I care about. So after you release it, after it's done, you know what I'm saying? That's, I think, the best way to create art, is while you're actually making it, while you're working on it, to only consider your own philosophical statements. And the only way to do that is to have lots of free time and free brain power. You have to be in a place where you can sit and think about your art for a long time, and literally just sit and think and figure out your inspirations. You know, listen back to the things that I can only talk music. I can't talk about other art forms. Well, I can talk about YouTube videos as well. Go back and watch the things that inspire you. Go back and listen to the things that inspire you, and really deep dive into what about this makes me feel what I feel. You know? So, like, read your favorite poetry, and think about, like, the literary techniques and devices that poetry uses. And it doesn't have to be related to yours. Like, a long time ago, I made an album called Aerial. It's like a techno, dark, ambient techno kind of album. But at the time, I really didn't listen to much techno at all. I was listening to post-punk mostly at that time. Post-punk and Crystal Castles, and what else was I listening to? Like some like, what was I listening to when I made Aerial? I know I was listening to post-punk. I know I was listening to Crystal Castles. I know, and like some down-tempo shit, like some like trip-hop type shit. But I wasn't listening to any like techno. I knew about techno, but I didn't listen to any. But I'm still really proud of how the album turned out. It doesn't have to be in the same genre as what I'm saying. In fact, sometimes it's good to not only listen to the genre you make, to take outside influences. Do you even amor fati? I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a Nietzsche thing. Love of fate. I don't like this. I have so many problems with Nietzsche, even though I've never read him. I feel like if I actually read his books, I would probably have less problems with him. But from what I've heard of Nietzsche, like I have various problems with him. Anyway, I'm gonna get some water. You guys should get some water as well. Water is important. Stay hydrated. Welcome back, Fitzpipe. The thing about the eternal, what's it called? The Nietzsche thing, eternal return, something like that. Eternal. I'm just gonna call it the eternal return. Is like, I think about that and I think, would I be happy if I had to relive my life as it is now? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be satisfied. I wouldn't choose to relive my life. But I also can't imagine a life I would choose to relive. Because I consider non-existence to be superior over existence because I'm an anti-natalist. Eternal recurrence, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine a life I would actually want to relive for eternity. That doesn't exist. To me, there's no life possible that I would be satisfied living for eternity. So all I can do is live in a way that minimizes my own suffering as much as possible. And that's not even necessarily true. What am I trying to do with my life? I don't particularly have any goals. And I think that's fine. I think Nietzsche is way too hard on nihilism. I think nihilism is fine. Like I think it's possible to be a positive nihilist, especially in the modern era. I think nihilism is not even, like, Nietzsche says nihilism is the death, or like the death of, like, it's the worst possible thing that can happen to a person, to sink into nihilism. But I've been in nihilism my whole life pretty much. I can't get out of it. I don't care. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Like, I feel like Nietzsche is he kind of overstates how bad nihilism is. It's sure, it's probably not as good as living with purpose and whatever isn't nihilism. That's probably slightly better, but nihilism isn't awful. It's like it could be worse. I Benatar pilled a boy in school today because he felt bad about parents of a third kid being mean and egotistic. I don't know who the fuck Benatar is. You guys are treating me as if I'm smart. I'm not smart. I'm nothing. Life in Hidamari sketch. I don't fit in Hidamari sketch. It's not who I am. I'm too dark. If I fit into any anime cast, it would be like maybe Mahoraba. I could probably fit in with the lads from Mahoraba. I don't think I could fit in with Hidamari sketch. I'm too much of a male. I feel like my existence as a man would interfere with the beauty of Hidamari sketch. Oh, is David Benatar the guy who wrote Better Never to Have Been? I don't like that book. I started reading it and I thought it was shit. Like, I think he uses logical fallacies. I have my own reasons for being an anti-natalist. I don't need to listen to some fucking guy who thinks that we should care about the suffering of non-living beings. My reason for being anti-natalist is very simple. And I'm surprised that I haven't seen other anti-natalists say similar things. Firstly, I'm a philosophical pessimist. That's kind of a prerequisite for being an anti-natalist. Life is predominantly defined by suffering. Right? But what I say is very simple, and I don't know why more people don't say it. Is that I simply don't believe in this pseudo-utilitarian view that suffering and happiness, or whatever you consider the alternative to suffering, catharsis, whatever, are two sides of a coin. And so if we minimize suffering down that, like, I don't believe that they cancel each other out. Like, some people say, like, oh, well, I suffered a lot to get here, but it was worth it because I got something really good at the end. Really? No. Why do they cancel? Like, they exist on two separate planes for me. They don't interact. And so, therefore, it doesn't matter how much. So it doesn't matter if there's an asymmetry of suffering or not. Like, it doesn't matter. Even I don't even think it's right. I don't think it's true. But even if it, like, what matters is that suffering exists at all. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm doing a good job explaining myself. I like Ligotti. That's where I get my... Well, I mean, I was an antinatalist before I read Ligotti, but that's my favorite. Conspiracy Against the Human Race is my favorite antinatalist text. And probably the only one I've read now that I think about it. 'Yeah, you know what? It kind of is the music festival point, now that you mention it. It kind of is. That's a good connection to draw. %100% worth it. Conspiracy Against the Human Race is a great book, although it will make you incredibly depressed, which is kind of the point. But yeah. Good book. Highly recommend. Haven't read any of Ligotti's fiction, but I've heard that's good as well. Delusional implies. I mean, you could be. Yes, correct. I mean, you're right. However, delusions are not a bad thing inherently. It's fine to be delusional. We're all delusional. Ideology is a shared delusion. We're not even shared necessarily. We experience the world through delusions. So the delusional is not what makes it retarded. What makes it retarded is that it's not my specific delusions. Yeah. I guess I'm an antinatalist, but I don't really hate existing personally. I mostly hate it on behalf of other people, I guess. That's completely reasonable. I think even indifference to existing is enough to make you an antinatalist. Uh, oh, you know what I should be doing? Oh wait, well, I don't know if this is actually a good idea, but I feel like I should show you what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like me just staring at the screen with you having no idea what I'm watching is kind of stupid. Oh, Gillette, the best a man can get. I was watching today a really great Mark Fisher lecture. You know what? I'll just talk about that Mark Fisher lecture here because I think this is a good place. If you don't know Mark Fisher, he was a Mark Fisher. He's a or was like a political theorist, I guess, political philosopher. He wrote a book called Capitalist Realism. Before that, he was in a group called CCRU, along with a bunch of other people, including Nick Land at Warwick University. Generally, great guy. Capitalist Realism, great book, and he has some amazing lectures you can find on YouTube that are really fascinating. And I highly recommend checking him out if you haven't already checked him out, because he probably the best person in terms of like evolving socialism or Marxist theory in like the 21st century, in my personal opinion. The most influential, the one I relate to the most. He has a big thing about how mental illness, we seem to come up with all sorts of causes for mental illness, but we never discuss material conditions. So depression rates go up in the world or whatever, and you go to therapy, and the therapist talks to you for months and months about your thought patterns, and here, take these antidepressants, take these SSRIs, these will help your depression, and if you're depressed you should find a new hobby or do it. But we're never allowed to talk about like, well, I'm depressed because I have no fucking financial stability, like I could lose my job at any moment. I live under this insane neoliberal system where nothing makes any fucking sense. I'm forced to hustle every fucking minute of my life just to survive, and this is somehow seen as a positive by culture, and politics doesn't make any sense. I see these fucking politicians on TV and none of them seem to represent me, and I feel like the world is completely out of my control, and I have no friends because I have no time outside of work. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mark Fisher was like, guys, come on, material conditions are a fucking important part of mental health. You got to take that into consideration. You can't just ignore the fucking world people live in when you're talking about mental health. And he talks about in Capitalist Realism, his main point is like, it's kind of a thesis of a postmodernism. Like the world we live in is capitalist realism, as in we are no longer even able to imagine a system different from capitalism. This is the way that capitalists convince us to, there was an organized left a long time ago. You know, there was a solid organized left, and then there was the fall of the Soviet Union, etc. And one of the ways capitalist companies or capitalists maintain their power these days is not by being like super anti-leftist or claiming their own ideology superior, or any what they do is they accept certain parts. So like, I mean, we've all seen like woke brands, but they essentially say like, communism, how would that even work? Like that's ridiculous. You can't even propose such a thing. Like, if you try and imagine a society significantly different from capitalism, you can't do it. None of us can do it. We've had this ability for imagination just robbed from us by neoliberalism. We've had this ability to imagine a world significantly different from capitalism, or to imagine any viable alternative that is significantly different, robbed from us. And I completely agree with this. I think it's a really great observation. That, like, how do I put it? It's a little bit it's like it's all related to all the postmodern shit, you know, hauntology and stuff. Like, the ability to imagine a future significantly different from our own, from the world we currently live in, even when we try and imagine the past. I remember a long time ago, not that long ago, maybe a year or two ago, I saw this video about history, and they said something like, factories were actually, in when the Industrial Revolution first happened, factories were actually great to work in. And that's why the Industrial Revolution happened, because everyone wanted to work in a factory because it was so much better than the feudal farming system. And the only reason this isn't taught is because leftists need to pretend that feudalism wasn't that bad in order to support their bullshit ideology. And if feudalism wasn't that bad, then why did everyone migrate to factories? Why did capitalism take hold if capitalism is so bad? No one would have changed jobs and moved out of their farm, moved out of their like subsistence serfdom, in order to work at a factory. In this video, the only reason that people say this is because leftists need to fucking have some argument to back up their bullshit ideology. Why was I talking about this? Well, oh yeah, because that is looking at the world as if it's always been capitalism secretly. You know? Like, this is just the world we live in. We can't imagine a world that's different from capitalism. We can't imagine that there was a world where you didn't need money to do everything. The reason people moved to factories is because suddenly we had capitalism and you needed money for everything. But most of the time, pre-capitalism, you could do most things without money. Sure, there was still money. Money existed. But, you know what I mean? If you live on a farm in a feudal community, you know, feudalism has many problems. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fucking monarchist. I'm not an anarcho-monarchist or whatever. Like, I'm not saying we go back to the feudal system or whatever. What I'm saying is, like, the reason people chose to work in factories is not necessarily because factories were such a better opportunity than working on your farm, but it was because the world changed, and pre-industrial civilization, you just didn't need money for that much stuff. You know, you can grow most of your own food. You can build your own house. You can go into the forest and get some timber, and the land is not owned by anyone. It's owned communally. You can work on a commune, a common. I mean, you can work on the commons, and everyone works together. There's more of a communal aspect to life. In current, if we see like current tribal societies, children are raised communally. Lots of things are just taken care of by a community of people in a village or a tribe or whatever you want to call it. Food, for example, you can help out people who don't have enough food or whatever, and no money ever needs to change hands. You can grow enough food to last you through the winter. Winters are harsh, sure, but they're not like impossible to survive. If you lived in medieval England, you slaughtered your pig, or before the winter, and you cured it into bacon. You had bacon to last you through the winter. And remember what a fridge is, right? Remember what a fridge is? It's just a way of keeping food cool. Well, you know what else keeps food cool? Winter air. So you can just store food outside in the winter, and it will last for a long time. Or, you know, there was loads of other ways of preserving things in jams and salt curing and smoke curing and whatever. People had ways of making food last through the winter. People had ways of making, even though farming wasn't as efficient without artificial fertilizer and stuff, like, people didn't just die all the time. It wasn't hell on earth for 2,000 years of human civilization. People were fine without money. I mean, they had money sometimes. They sometimes bought things, but it wasn't that much of a big deal. And then capitalism happened, and suddenly you need money to do everything. And you can't get money by working for your fucking lord, right? You can't get money as a serf, or whatever. So you go to a factory to get money, because now the world operates on capitalism. And suddenly you need money to do everything. That's why capitalism happened, not because factories were so much fucking better than farms. Fucking idiots. Anyway, why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, because that's a guy who simply can't imagine a world that is significantly different from capitalism. That's a guy that just can't imagine a communal society where money doesn't need to change hand for every fucking exchange of any products of value or whatever. The guy who made that video, who said, like, capitalism. And the other thing about Marx is that Marx loves capitalism. Marx endlessly sings the praises of how much better capitalism is than feudalism. In capitalism, it's really hard to, like, move social classes, to change whatever class you're in. But in feudalism, it's impossible. Like, there's a difference. there's a clear difference. In capitalism, it's difficult, and it's luck-based, and it's arbitrary or whatever. But in feudalism, it just doesn't happen. Like, Marx isn't a fucking idiot. He knows these things. I have a friend who was on Prozac when he was 12. Oh, fuck. That's terrible, man. Imagine putting a fucking 12-year-old on Prozac. That is abuse. That should be illegal. That is disgusting. I fucking hate psychiatrists so much. Especially in America, but... God. What scummy fucking human beings. What fucking pieces of shit. You can't fucking put a 12-year-old on SSRIs. Like, don't do that. It's gonna, if you're 12 years old, it's gonna fucking permanently alter your brain chemistry. Even if you're fully developed, even if you're over 25, SSRIs will alter your brain chemistry permanently. I went on SSRIs, and fortunately, I didn't have too much side effects. But as you can see from the state of my t-shirts, you see how all my t-shirts have holes here where I've chewed through them? Let me see. Can you see this in OBS? Not really. Like, you see how they all have holes? Like, all of my t-shirts are like this. I never chewed my t-shirts before I went on SSRIs. I constantly chew my t-shirts now, or chew things. I have like a chewing things tick that I can't do anything about. I just constantly chew things. I wasn't like this before I went on SSRIs, and now I'm constantly like this. It'll probably take me years to get out of it. There's people who develop tics like spasms with their eyebrows and stuff. And going, it's fucking disgusting. Imagine giving that to a 12-year-old. Like, when your brain chemistry is still developing, you that's fucking that is despicable behavior. How can you sleep at night when you do stuff like that? Like, I think about my friend Star. She was given antipsychotics when she was, like, under 18. Imagine doing that to a child. Imagine giving a fucking child fucking antipsychotics. It makes me fucking sick, bro. It makes me actually really angry. Have people at uni said something about your music before? Um, I haven't gone into uni for a long time because of the virus. Um, hmm. Have people? I guess so. Yeah. They said it's loud, and they said it's kind of cool. People at uni seem to. People generally seem to sort of regard me as a sort of not to brag or anything, but people in general seem to regard me as a sort of mythical figure. um, like I don't know, people seem interested in me but too afraid to ask. That's generally the experience I've had in my life. People seem interested in me but too afraid to ask, which is good. I purposefully dress in such a way and present myself in such a way because I don't want to have fucking stupid conversations with idiots. But yeah, at least a couple people have talked about my music to me, but nothing interesting, really. Um, I mean, last time I went into uni, my the Thousand Gex and Tree of Clues or whatever hadn't even come out yet. I couldn't talk about it. I wasn't even allowed to talk about it, so I couldn't talk about the fact that I was on their album or whatever. Uh, Without capitalism, would swag rap exist though? This is true. Swag rap probably wouldn't exist without capitalism. Yeah, swag rap is worth it, to be honest. I'm okay with capitalism existing because we get uh Soldier Boy. I think I mentioned before in the last stream, but I had anhedonia, but it has gone better since then, and I can now enjoy music somewhat. I think I got anhedonia from withdrawing from an antipsychotic. That makes perfect sense. Do you know why? Do you know how antipsychotics work? This is how antipsychotics work. They fucking suppress your brain's ability to release dopamine. Dopamine, the main chemical. There's three chemicals involved in pleasure: um, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Uh, SSRIs work by flood. Well, whatever. They selectively inhibit the reuptake um, of serotonin in your brain. But antipsychotics, most of them, not all of them, but most of them work by inhibiting the release of dopamine in your brain. Because there was some study in the 50s that showed that schizophrenics had a higher amount of dopamine than the average population, and that when you gave them drugs that suppressed the amount of dopamine they released, then supposedly their hallucinations and delusions were lessened. And because of that, there's this global acceptance that of the dopaminergic theory of schizophrenia and psychosis, which is not actually like it's. If you actually look at the literature, I wish Star was in the stream because she knows way more about this than me. I'm just parroting what I've heard from her. That there's actually like debate about this. Like, even though so many people have prescribed antipsychotics, we're not even sure that dopamine is the key factor that contributes to psychosis, or and they'll give you antipsychotics for bipolar as well. They tried to put me on quetiapine. Um, no fucking way am I going on quetiapine, boy. You fucking stupid. You think I'm fucking retarded? No fucking way. Just because I'm bipolar. Oh yeah, because of mania, right? If you're manic, you can get delusions or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense that when you're withdrawing from that shit, your fucking dopamine in your brain is fucked because they fucked it. There are so many drugs that are better than antipsychotics that I use personally to medicate all of my mental illnesses, my fucking bipolar and my uh, uh, autism or whatever. I don't really care about autism. What was the other thing I have? I have something else. I don't remember what it was. Whatever. My bipolar. Like, if you are having a depressive, like, I personally think self-medication should be completely destigmatized. I think it's the stigma on self-medication is kind of ridiculous, and it's basically a scam from the psychiatric industry, psychiatric industrial complex. Why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, yeah. Like, I have bipolar too, so I guess it could be worse. But fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Uh, yeah, like there's loads of medicines that you can just buy illegally, and they work. Self medication works. There's a reason people do it. There's a reason I'm drinking right now. Like when I'm fucking depressed, I drink because it helps, and the psychiatric industry would tell me that's a fucking terrible habit. No, don't drink when you're depressed. Don't fucking get less depressed, you fucking idiots. Oh yeah, take my fucking SSRIs. No, fuck you. Let me drink. Like drugs are somehow the worst thing in the world. Like, oh, if you're depressed, you can't feel pleasure. You get anhedonia, right? You don't feel happy about anything. And you know what? If you take MDMA or some other serotonergic drug, 4-FMA, whatever, fucking RC you want to fucking take, right? You know what it'll do? It'll make you happy. It'll make your fucking brain secrete a bunch of serotonin and you'll feel great. And you'll be able to talk about your problems. That's the most important thing to me, is that it will, if you have a friend you can talk to your problems with, and you can access part of your brains that might be normally repressed because of trauma. In fact, they used to do this all the time in the 50s. They used to have MDMA supported. They used to have MDMA assisted psychotherapy, where you would go into a therapy session, you'd take MDMA, and then you would talk to your therapist about your problems. And it opens up it's genuinely proven scientific, like peer-reviewed, effective against PTSD and trauma and stuff, that you can. It stops you from being so scared with your trauma, and you can process your trauma more effectively. So what I'm saying is, there's certain drugs that are allowed, but if a drug is too fun, then it's disallowed. And so these sorts of antipsychotics, even though they're nowhere near the most effective things for bipolar, are prescribed because they're not any fun. You can't possibly have fun taking an antipsychotic. But for me, like when I'm manic, the thing that helps me most is like, I mean, personally, I use alcohol a lot. I use Phenibut a lot. I use caffeine a lot when I'm depressed. Caffeine gives me a lot of motivation. If I had access to amphetamine, I would do amphetamine. Modafinil helps when I'm depressed to give me more motivation. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think you should. There's psychiatrists and stuff. They don't know that much. They don't know more than the entire internet. They don't have the same knowledge as the entire collective of the internet. If you spend enough time research, and listen, make a distinction here, clear distinction. I'm not advocating for you to go out and fucking snort 20 lines of cocaine and say, well, no, thank you, told me to do it, that it will fix my depression. That's not what I'm fucking saying. What I'm saying is, we have access to the most information that anyone in the history of humanity has ever had access to. There is so much incredible information about these fucking chemicals and molecules and whatever on Erowid and on Tripsit.me and on all these websites on 420chan. You can ask Star, talk to Star about it, talk to Lily about it. She knows like way more than I do about this shit. Talk to Lily about it. Just DM her on Discord or whatever, and talk about like, hey, I have this problem, and I'm sure she can prescribe you something, and it'll be some weird fucking combination of letters and numbers, like fucking 4-ACO DMT or something you've never heard of. 3 fucking, I don't know, you know, and like, she's done as much research into this shit as any psychiatrist has, because psychiatrists they don't need to know every drug. They only need to know the drugs that they're legally allowed to prescribe. If you have some sort of psychiatric problem, depending on the problem, there's so many drugs that can help. If you have depression, there's so much evidence that ketamine and other dissociatives can help with depression, and psychedelics can help with depression. Personally, I find stimulants help with depression, help with the lethargy and lack of energy and interest and inability to focus that comes with my depression. Stimulants super helpful with that. You know, if you can buy benzos, you could just get benzos if you're anxious. If you're anxious, you can get something like that. You know, there's so many things that are available, and yet they're illegal, or they have some restriction on them, despite the fact that I personally think most people are rational and able to decide for themselves what's safe. In fact, it's not even a belief; it's a fact. If you look at the data, even with addictive drugs, like the vast majority of people who become addicted to a drug, if you become addicted to a drug, if you become addicted to heroin, I know this for a fact. If you become addicted to heroin, you're way more likely to stop doing heroin than you are to overdose and die. You're way more likely to quit heroin. Because people are fucking not stupid. People know what they're doing to themselves. People know that if you do too much heroin, you die. The reason people overdose on heroin is not because they're addicts and they just keep increasing the dose because they gain a tolerance. The reason people overdose on heroin is because they get sold a bad batch that's fucking cut with fentanyl or something. That's could be solved easily with government regulation, but it won't be because heroin makes you happy and therefore it's bad. What the fuck is wrong with opiates? The only problem with opiates, in my opinion, is that it gives you constipation. That's the only problem with opiates. Do opiates if it makes you happy. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever makes you happy. Okay, I sort of went on a rant there. Sort of went on my fucking pro-drug rant. Hospitals are a spook. Listen, Fitzpipe. Foucault said it best. It's not a fucking coincidence. The hospitals resemble prisons, okay? You ever think about it? You ever think about how hospitals resemble prisons? There's a fucking reason for it, okay? There's a reason that hospitals are these sterile, impersonal environments that dehumanize you, okay? Hospitals are not the fucking perfect system that we imagine them to be. Yeah. What do you think of psilocin getting more and more research for therapy? I think it's great. I actually think we're living in a great time for drug emancipation. Didn't like Oregon just decriminalize all drugs or something? That's great. And this is the thing. that's most interesting. I don't even really care about drugs that much. Like, I don't these days, other than drinking. I mean, I used to. In the past, I used to do way more drugs than I do now. I barely. I would say I just straight up don't flat do drugs anymore. The only thing I do, nicotine, alcohol, and caffeine, all of which are legal, and I think they're great. I think caffeine is great. I think caffeine is underrated as a stimulant, as a functional stimulant. By the drug taking community, like drug takers, epic drug users will often say like, oh, you gotta do fucking 2-FMA, you gotta do fucking amphetamine, or modafinil is the big one, right? Or Ritalin, right? If you want a productive functional stimulant. But caffeine and if you have caffeine and L-theanine, it's such a great functional stimulant. I don't understand why like it's the L-theanine that makes caffeine into a god tier stimulant. And I think alcohol is great. Like, alcohol is basically a dissociative, but people don't class it with dissociatives. It's a fucking weird drug. Firstly, it metabolizes into poison, which is not good. But I personally think the fact that it metabolizes into poison is kind of good because it stops me from doing it too much. Like when it comes to like other addictive drugs that are in a similar family, like benzos. When you do a bunch of benzos, like you get a rebound anxiety, and the only way to cure rebound anxiety is to take more benzos, and so you take more benzos and you get addicted to benzos. But when you drink alcohol, the day after you get a terrible fucking hangover, and you say, "Fuck, I never want to drink again." Which is great. It's the best way to discourage yourself from drinking again. You're like, fuck that, I don't want to drink again. And then you don't become an alcoholic, and it's great. And I think alcohol is fine. Like, I think it's a good drug. Even though it's weird. Like, it's, you know, it's fine. Like, it's not... It's perfectly pleasurable, in my opinion. Otherwise, no one would do it. My school was surrounded by barbed wire. Disgusting. Schools are prisons. Children deserve to be free. Free the children from the fucking prisons that you put them in for fucking 7 hours a day. Fuck, man. Makes me really fucking angry that schools exist. Let the fucking kids fucking fuck around, bro. Let them do fucking kid shit. Don't trap them in a classroom and force them to learn fucking long division. Let them fucking do whatever they want. They're kids. They're gonna have to be adults soon, and that sucks. Let them be kids while they're kids. Don't force them in this fucking hyper-socialized environment where everything's shit. Fuck you. Let kids be kids. Don't trap them in prisons so that their parents can go and generate capitalism for the fucking basilisk for no fucking reason. I'm sure there are ways to even structure capitalism where we don't have to have schools. I'm sure someone could figure it out. I think our whole conception of parenting is wrong. I think as I said, like I think human children are best raised in a communal setting. I think the idea that like, oh, don't tell me how to raise my kids, or kids should be raised by just two people alone, and the government. That's how kids should be raised in fucking neoliberalism. Hey, kids should be raised only by two people and the government, and no one else is allowed to talk to them. That's so clearly a retarded system. That's so clearly stupid. I think kids should be raised communally. I think that's the best way for people to get an actual effective education, is for a whole community to work together and actually take care of people, because that way it solves the same problem that school solves. Like, people can get a practical education, and it frees up people to work on essential labor, which there is essential labor in the world. You need Food needs to come from somewhere. Housing needs to come from somewhere. Clothes needs to come from somewhere, etc. Hospitals are cringe, but they gave me 2 free opioid into the veins experiences 4 years ago, and I ate a cheeseburger and watched Castaway with Tom Hanks. When I was in hospital, I came out of anesthetic and I watched Ghostbusters, and I was on morphine, and it was horrible. I felt sick. I couldn't walk. I tried to stand up and I just collapsed because my legs were like jelly. They wouldn't operate properly, and I watched Ghostbusters and it was horrific, and I threw up like projectile vomit because I was just on a high dose of morphine, and that's what happens when you're on a high dose of morphine, and it was horrible. Yeah. But they also saved my life, which is kind of based. I guess. Fine. Saving my life, kind of based. Fine. I was put in a confinement room at a hospital during my manic episode. I went crazy in there and tried to snap my own neck. Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like dragging someone into a fucking mental hospital is a stressful experience that's only going to exacerbate any stress-induced mania that... God, everything's so fucking broken and none of us can do anything about it. Just let me be a dictator. I'll fix everything. Yeah, being... God, that sounds like a fucking horrible experience. Confinement rooms are like fucking war crimes. Like, you use they use what's the word, solitary confinement as like a terrible punishment for criminals in prison, and yet we do it to mentally ill people who, through no fault of their own, just have a mental illness, and it's considered fine. God. Jesus Christ. What is the world thinking? Next time I talk to a therapist, I'm just going to say, I've been reading a lot of French philosophy and I think your job shouldn't exist. That's what I'm going to say to them. I promise you right now, I'm going to do this. Next, I'm sure it'll happen because my brain is fucked. At one point, I'll probably end up at a therapist's office again, and I will say, I promise you right now, I will say to them, I've been reading a lot of French philosophy and I feel like your job shouldn't exist. No, they need to be productive and make their parents feel super cool about themselves. Yeah, a lot of it is that. A lot of it is like shared trauma. Like, well, the whole of society went through this shared trauma, so you have to go through it too. But no thank you, I trust you being a dictator and do a dab. If it wasn't solitary confinement, just confinement. They had a person there staring at me in the window that I could kind of talk to. I mean, even if it's not solitary confinement, it still feels more like a punishment than a treatment. Do you know what I mean? I feel like treatment has to be voluntary, like at its fucking base. If you're treating someone involuntarily, you're not helping them. You can't possibly be helping them. I need to piss. I enjoyed the stream a lot, but I have to move out for do prison homework. Hopefully you had a satisfying and blood-free piss. Yep, there was no blood involved. I think I might end the stream as well. I think I might have come to a natural conclusion with my rant about whatever I've been ranting about. If I feel like it's come to a natural conclusion. I feel like I can't rant for much longer. Basically, do drugs, do crimes as much as you possibly can get away with. Have friends. They don't want you to have friends. They do not want you to have friends. Play Minecraft. Okay. You know what? Fine. I'll show you around. I haven't played Minecraft for a while, so this world is kind of outdated. But I'll show you the world I have on this fucking Minecraft realm. Fine. I'll give a very brief tour. So I haven't played Minecraft in ages. Me and Dotsmite went on a manic Minecraft binge for a while, and then we just completely burnt ourselves out and never played again, basically. But I'll show you around the realm. Can you see it properly? I guess if I move it over here, it's better. Oh yeah, my computer's probably kind of loud. Minecraft is tough on the CPU. Jetbush 2020, yeah. Yeah, me and Dotsmite were on this Minecraft realm. I guess I can show you around. It's really not that impressive. Like, basically we just have a few mildly impressive things and then nothing else. I don't know why it's taking so long to connect. It shouldn't be taking this long. Oh shit, a plot twist. Hey, finally. Alright, where the fuck am I? Oh, I know where I am. Okay, okay, so this... Do I have the lighter on? Okay, good. So this is what's gonna be the slime farm eventually. Should I just make this full screen? Can you guys see this? Yep, you can see it. Alright, this is gonna be the slime farm eventually. Dots might dug this out. Yeah. But it's not done yet, obviously. As you can see, it's not a slime farm yet. I also don't have any rockets, so we are building up manually. Fucking block by block. Oh, I'm gonna be completely lost, aren't I? Because this place is in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna have no idea where the fuck I am, and I can't die because I have all my good stuff on me. Oh shit! I'm wearing like my god armor and stuff. Oh fuck! This is actually a terrible mistake. I've just realized this is a terrible mistake, everything I'm doing right now. I should never have done this. I'm not sure what to do about the situation. I guess I'll just wander around until I find the mob farm, because the mob farm is kind of near here, or I could just start walking in the direction where I know the coordinates of the base are. But that might take me forever to get there. Okay, we are out. Goodbye. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the mob farm is in this kind of. Let me see. What's my coords? Okay, I want to go towards -Z. This is gonna take me forever. I'm sorry, I happen to have been in a place that's far away from everything. But yeah, we're gonna head towards -Z for now. Wait, I see it. Oh, it's lava. Yeah, I'm gonna try and head back to my base. I think it's at like -200, 400 or something like that. So we'll just head in that sort of general direction, and we'll see how it goes. It shouldn't be too hard to get there. I mean, it should be kind of hard, but it shouldn't be too hard. It might take a little while, but I don't think it'll take too long. Hey, you're the one that wanted this, by the way. If it this is entirely your own fault. And I really hope I don't die, because it took a long time for us to get this armor and stuff. Me and Delts are gonna start a new Minecraft world at some point. We're gonna go from the beginning. We're gonna actually do a Minecraft Let's Play. Oh fuck! Hello? I guess a boat would be kind of useful. What I'm doing right now is trying to head in -Z. I know our base is not in like the 2000s on the Z-axis. I'm just trying to head in -Z, and then I think our base is like -200, 400. That's what I think it is, but I don't remember. I know it's relatively near spawn, so I'm sure I can find the way to the base from somewhere near spawn. Or near 00. Yeah, not the most interesting content. again, we were on this server for maybe like so what's impressive about this? This is what's actually impressive about what we did is that we did everything we have in maybe like 2 weeks. It took us to get where we are. Oh shit. It's fine. I have God armor. Maybe like 2.5 weeks, I think. So I think that's kind of impressive. It's lava. I got excited there. I was like, is that torch? But no, it's just lava. I'm just hoping this will lead me more into the negative Z kind of direction. And finally, it's coming to daytime. Oh my god, I'm so terrible at fucking maneuvering in Minecraft. This is a good sign, because our base was near the ocean, so I guess I'm getting close to it. Was that a squid? Let me turn on my render distance. Just so that when we get to our base I don't miss it by mistake. Got an AMD Radeon Pro 555. Yeah, it's a Mac. This is how Macs are. I got the i7. I got the AMD Radeon 555. I don't know what any of this means. I know nothing about hardware. Oh, I didn't finish my drink. This doesn't look good to me. Like, as in, I don't remember any of this. Maybe it was positive 200, 400. You know what? I'll go to positive 200, 400 because I'm not sure. What is that? A jungle? Dark oak. Okay, our island, the island I live on, is a dark oak. Right? This is it, right? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. We made it, guys. Yes. We made it to my fucking base. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Can I please get at least one poggers in chat? Can I please get one fucking poggers in chat? Please. I beg of you. One fucking poggers in chat. It's all I fucking want is one poggers in chat. Please. Please, I beg of you. So anyway, let's turn the chunk render distance down again. So this is our melon farm, which seems to be broken. Why is it broken? Did a creeper blow up? I guess a creeper blow up in there or something. Oh, yeah, Dotes was making another melon farm. No, Dotes was making a pumpkin farm. I made this melon farm. And then if we go over here, we can see the house. The rain is kind of fucking ruining it, but I don't have op on the server, so I can't just like weather clear. Thank you for the poggers. Yeah, so this is our house. I'll show you from over here. Right out a little bit. Yeah, this is the house. I designed this house. I made this house. This is all me. Modern house. It's the only style I know how to build in Minecraft. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, to be honest. This is our cow farm. It used to have way more cows, but it was actually genuinely creating lag on the server, so we culled some of the cows. Yeah, this is the house. There should be a bunch of chests over here. Well, we're gonna eventually expand, but we created the storage system before we expanded the house. So this is like our storage system. It's just out in the fucking open, which is a terrible fucking idea. Dots did this without fucking like even considering the fact that like creepers exist. But yeah, we have a bunch of shit. What can I flex? Do we have diamonds or something somewhere? I don't know. We have a lot of shit. I think this is what I'll flex though, because getting diamonds and shit is easy in this game. This is what's difficult, is building a modern house. That's what's difficult. So this is our house. This is the super smelter. You put fuel in here, and this is the out. This is where it comes in, and then it comes out down here. This is where our old storage system was. Again, I also built this. So this place used to be a storage system, but Dotes was like, there's not enough chests, so I'm going to move it outside where creepers can blow it up. And I was like, sure, fine, whatever, you're retarded. Oh yeah, that's some people that visited our base. This is the bin. I can throw shit in here, like eggs. If I press Q, it goes into the lava down there. That's the trash. This is the output of the super smelter over here. E-chest. Nothing in my e-chest. Nothing that interesting over here. But this is basically the main base. We have our farm. Oh, well, there is more interesting stuff over here actually. I don't know why I said there's anything that interesting. There's plenty of interesting stuff. This is the first time this has been seen on video, by the way, guys. So I hope someone's watching, because this is you guys are the only ones that are gonna see this. So over here is our villager system. It's just villages. It's nothing that special. But yeah, this is where we trade for villages and stuff. It's just a nether brick hellscape. And on top of this is the netherwort farm. But again, not that interesting. This bridge, again, one of my designs. Over here, now this is the interesting thing. So over here is our iron farm. Did the villagers despawn? No, I see a villager in there. I see at least one villager in here. So, oh wait, maybe it's not spawning because it's raining? Either way, this is the iron farm. We get a fucking ton of iron from this. It's not even that. Normally this chest is like very full, but still this is a lot of iron. Yeah, I made this as well. I now understand how iron farms work. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that it's not working right now because of the rain, I assume. But normally there's like an iron golem every so often. Originally I made it with just one villager. Is there a villager in there? I can't tell. I feel like it might have despawned. Which would be a real shame if it did. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, there is a villager in there. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, that's the iron farm. That was my creation. I now understand how iron farms work. If you have any questions about iron farms, ask me, because I know how they work. And then, now for the actually impressive shit, which is aka all the stuff that Dotes made. So up here is our XP farm, right? So you got this bubble vator. into this nether portal. And now we're on the nether roof. And over here is a big tower which leads up to our XP farm. Now this is going to take a while to scale because it's a very tall tower. This is on purpose so that it's for various... if you know Minecraft mechanics, it's so that things don't spawn. Yo, the stream is super choppy. How come no one mentioned this before? How come no one mentioned that the stream is incredibly choppy? Because I'm seeing it now and it's kind of fucked. I could probably fix it by lowering the bitrate or something. Is the audio okay? I could probably fix it by lowering the bitrate or something. Okay, well the audio seems to be okay, which is all that matters. Okay, so this is our gold / XP farm. It's getting pretty full. Yeah, this is all dope. Well, okay, I built this bit. I built like the collection system and stuff. But Dodds made the whole platform and all the important stuff. I just built the collection system. That's the easy bit. But if we go up here, you can see the impressive part. So this is the gold farm. Do I have a bow on me? Yes. Nice. Okay, let's. So we should get a ton of piglins in here. Yeah, and this is how you get XP. And this is how you mend your tools as well and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and all that stuff gets funneled through the hoppers and minecarts and whatever, and ends up in these chests or whatever. It's kind of broken. It's not a perfect system. Sometimes the system gets backed up. This is all my doing. Because we don't have, if I wanted to make it actually work, like if I wanted to make this gold farm really efficient and so it never gets backed up, I would need to use slime block launchers because hopper speed is not fast enough for non-stackable items, and the golden swords that the zombie piglins drop is like they're non-stackable, so it backs up the system. So if I really wanted to make the system super effective, I'd have to use packed ice and slime block launchers. But when we were making this farm, we didn't have any slime. We had 0 slime at all. And so I had to improvise with a system which uses minecarts and hoppers. Like hopper minecarts and hoppers. And it sometimes gets backed up. Oh, here you can... You just heard... Oh, you didn't hear it, but this is like my auto dispenser, which dispenses... Basically, these are all of these are item filters. So... A item filters out all the stuff that's important, and anything that isn't important, aka golden swords, gets dispensed into lava. And then we have a enchantment station here. So yeah, that's the impressive part of the base. For the Let's Play finale, get social fully on. I don't think that's possible. Okay, and next up, I think the last thing that we have on this world that's impressive is oh shit. Oh fuck. Okay, let's bring this guy. fuck! My fucking bridge that I fucking built. Fuck you. I don't even play on this world anymore. I don't care. Okay, so creeper hole in my fucking bridge. Fuck you. I don't care. Anyway, let's get down here. I'm asleep. Is anyone else online? No. Okay. The final impressive thing on this world is the half-finished mob farm. So if we go into Nether, we have this Nether highway. Oh, I only have a boat in my inventory conveniently. Okay. And on the other side, this is all to stop mob spawning, by the way. Of course, mobs can't spawn on rails. On the other side is Nether highway. We have a fucking mob farm. Now, if you don't know fucking technical Minecraft, you might be wondering, why the fuck did you dig out this entire section? Because yes, Doltomite dug this by hand, by the way, just with a fucking beacon and a pickaxe. Dug this entire fucking section out, and I lit up all these caves. There's so many caves. I spent maybe 3 days lighting up caves. Right? Why did you do this? Because if you know about technical Minecraft, you know about the existence of subchunks. So in Minecraft, not only there's chunks, right? The world is generated in chunks, which is these 16 by 16 sections. That's just how the world generates. But there's also subchunks, which is essentially when the game is looking to spawn a mob, the way it checks for spawnable spaces, right? So like this, none of this is spawnable because I dropped my sword. None of this is spawnable because it's all lit up. But let's say there's like a spawnable space over here. It's like, okay, it's checking for a space where it can spawn a mob, right? When it's checking for a place to spawn a mob, it's checking. It goes, the way that it calculates it is it goes from the bottom up. It starts at bedrock and then it goes up. So if you build a mob farm right near the bottom of the world, it's actually slightly more efficient because it checks for mobs at the bottom first before it checks at the top, so it's slightly more efficient. So this is the mob farm that's why we dug out this whole area, is simply to put this mob farm right at the bottom of the world. And guess what? The mob farm isn't even finished, and only one layer works, and so it's super slow. And barely worth it. But yeah, it's at bedrock level, and we have this entire area dug out. We can expand infinitely upwards, but only one layer works right now because we both got bored of Minecraft. We both got burned out rather than bored. We got burned out on Minecraft before we could finish it, and the only reason we made this mob farm is because we wanted creepers. We wanted gunpowder so that we could use our elytra more freely. Because we both had elytra, we both have mending elytra, so we have infinite elytra essentially, but we just don't have a creeper farm. And I originally wanted to make, I personally wanted to make a specifically just a creeper farm, but Doltomite said, oh, we should make just a general mob farm. This is where I made this collection system where the drops get bumble rated up, but it's kind of shit, honestly. Like the rates are shit because it's fucking tiny. Only one level of spawning platform is available, so honestly the rates are like terrible. But eventually I would expand it upwards and we would have plenty of spawning spaces. We'd probably get loads of drops, but we don't now because there's only one spawning platform available, which means it's pretty slow right now. You have to AFK for a long time to get any items. I think that's all the impressive stuff about the world. Yeah. Eventually, we were planning... I don't know if we're still going to do it, because now me and Dots are like planning to do a different Minecraft Let's Play. on our own world. So I don't know if we'll ever actually finish this Let's Play, but our eventual goal was to. We had I have a whole fucking like document of all of our plans on the world, like a shared, like spreadsheet type of situation of like a really complicated to-do list of like all the stuff we plan to do. Basically, the idea was to eventually build a mega base. But I'm not going to spoil what that mega base would have looked like because it's possible that we do another Minecraft Let's Play. And if we do another Minecraft Let's Play, then, you know, I won't spoil it. Oh yeah, by the way, this is how you used to have to get... Before we had that tunnel, we had to go through like a long fucking section. And I was speedrunning it. But, yeah, it's not important. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back to the base and then quit the game. Oh yeah, if you want to see, so we have max armor. So unbreaking 3, protection 3, mending, unbreaking, protection pro 4, etc. Sharpness 5 sword, unbreaking, fire aspect, looting, sweeping edge, mending, efficiency 5 silk touch, mending, unbreaking, unbreaking 3, fortune 3, efficiency 5, mending, and this shovel's kind of shit, but you don't need a good shovel. Flame, power 3, and mending for the bow, of course. I would like infinity, but it's whatever. It's not that important. We have plenty of arrows. That was all Dotes. She did all of that. These were our first stone tools, by the way. Yeah, we also defeated the End Dragon in this world, just on a whim. I think that's every project we've done. You've seen that the work in progress slime, but yeah, we did this all of this that you're seeing was like two weeks of work, basically. That's what's impressive about it. If this was like a year, if we'd been playing on the server for like months, this wouldn't be that impressive. What's impressive about it is that we did this all in maybe 2 weeks, where we just did nothing but play Minecraft all day every day. And then we got so burnt out that we just never did anything else again on this world. So yeah, that's Minecraft. Look forward in the future, because I think this is a good idea. In the future, me and Dotes, we will be doing a Minecraft Let's Play. It definitely won't be on that world. Because it's dumb to start a Minecraft Let's Play halfway through when you've already got half the shit you need. But we will be doing a Minecraft Let's Play at some point, 100%. And me and Dotes are both really good at Minecraft. Dotes is better than me at Minecraft, but I'm really good at my specialty in Minecraft is like small things. I like building small buildings and like decorating them. I like building small technical redstone stuff, and I like, yeah. But Dotes is like she likes. Firstly, Dotes likes repetitive actions. She plays a lot of RuneScape, for example, so she will just strip mine for 12 hours and be completely satisfied with that. I hate strip mining, and she will also be fine with like building a huge contraption that's just fucking tedious. To me, she loves that shit. So together, we make the most powerful Minecraft duo possible, because I like all the small intricate stuff and she likes all the big non-intricate stuff. Anyway, that was my Minecraft segment. for the Let's Plays finale, get Soldier Boy on or Danny Brown. I don't think that'll be possible, honestly. I would love to get Soldier Boy on, but I think Soldier has more interesting things to do, like play Among Us or whatever. That's Cap! Bonus Cap! Soldier Boy streams are actually really good. He's becoming a better and better streamer by the day. When I in Minecraft, I would find integral ways to kill myself. Sounds like you have some unresolved psychological issues, my friend. I'm just kidding. That's a good way to play Minecraft. Anyway, it's time to end the stream. Thank you very much for watching. I've been no thank you. I'm gonna pour myself another glass of brandy. And yeah, look forward to the distant future when me and Dotes do a proper Minecraft Let's Play. And it's gonna be the best Minecraft Let's Play on YouTube. We are so good at Minecraft. Dotes is way better at like combat and parkour than I am. I kind of suck at that shit. Anyway, bye bye. I'm kind of rambling. Cheers. Pour yourself a drink.